place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun down. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right upon the shoot. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
36, not 26. You're muted, by the way. Cannot hear you.
I said, why is everybody leaving? We having an adult conversation.
They were removed. They shall return, I'm sure.
Why would they remove? Oh, okay. Mr. Aaron, what part of Philly are you from? Curiosity killed the cat.
the main line, Montgomery County.
Oh, you Montgomery. Oh, that's why you so proper. Okay, I got you. Mount Airy, baby. Mount Airy, baby. Hey.
Oh,
But North Philly up in here. North Philly. North Philly up in here. Hey. But I'm sorry, Mr. Ham. Sorry, Mr. Ham. But no, I just wanted a man's opinion because I got. Can I say a-hole? A-hole? You know, you relationships is not perfect. Let's be clear on that. I've been with this man since 13. You know, we did homework together. We met in a overnight high school. Overnight Bible school church. It was overnight. I was a tomboy. It was everybody liked him. I ain't like him. Overnight. What is it called? VBS? Yeah, VBS. Overnight. Oh God, vocational Bible school. I don't want to put all that in there, but you know what I mean. You know, Germantown. You know, but you know what I'm saying. So we found out. Fast forward, got pregnant at 19, had the baby, not the baby, my baby. That's my baby. He's 19. But had him at 20. And we, you know, life. It's just life. So, you know, relationships, he had his thing, I had my thing, you know, life. You know, you got to experience life. That's what's up. Philly, stand up, Philly! Water ice, pretzel, what up, Philly? So, what I'm saying is men, they want to explore, and I can't just put it on Philly. Like, I'm not a man. Let's be clear on that. So he did what he did. I did what I did. But yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, because we were young adults. I'm in college. He didn't go to college. He was in tech school, you know? You know? Do you? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Hello? Yeah, so it was like hard because it was hard because we was both young. We got this youngin', you know, and he trying to do, and 17th and Erie, that was our first apartment. No, I'm lying. It was on Washington Lane. We had a duplex. Then we moved to 17th and Erie. Mm-hmm. And now I was working. I didn't want my baby in. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry, Miss Ann. But we were young. That's what I'm saying. We were young. But he knocked it out the box. You know, he knocked it out the box. He made sure, and I made sure, because, you know, that's our only one. Of course, he wanted another one, and I kept, you know, trying to tell him, you know, we can't do this. 38 now. Well, it wasn't 38. He wanted it. I don't know what age it was. I want a daughter. I'll be quiet on that.
You delivered in Einstein?
No, I had him at Chestnut Hill. They don't deliver babies no more, but I had him at Chestnut Hill. Mm-hmm. That's my baby. That's my Booker Bear. That's Booker Bear. I'm Mama Bear. He Papa Bear. Same one. But yeah, we had all these t-shirts. I just do this on because Mr. Ham don't like. I don't like it either. Thank you, Mr. Ham. I don't like it either. The chest showing and stuff, especially in front of married men. Yeah, you cover up. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry, Mr. Ham. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all good. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. It's
Run! It's a stampede! DJ Ham the Stampede. DJ Ham the Stampede.
Yo, we here. Did you understand people in the building? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
It's crazy how real that clip was. Like, that was the one opportunity where she kind of got a chance to talk and actually made some good sense. Feel me? She also got an opportunity to connect with Aaron on the Philly shit, which she loves so much. Feel me? So, God bless the dead Trinidad T, man. Yeah, man. Life, like she said, man.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Perfect.
I don't even know. The gold thing be messing up for me too, T Leave. So, but I had to come on, man, because I messed up today. I was supposed to premiere something at 8 o'clock to keep my schedule consistent. But I didn't do a good job of make sure I set it up correctly, so it didn't premiere how I wanted it to. So I said, "Hey, it's only right," because I was gonna do this regardless.
Shit like that.
TJ,
like
what
that.
up? What up? What up? What up?
Perfect.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Let me see who in the building real quick. Appreciate y'all. Daily, what up, my brother? Black America, of course. Snuggle, salute. Slick was popping, my boy. Cali Bev in the building. Almond what up, though? Appreciate y'all. Martin Luther King was shaking. Ask Ave in the building. Fo was popping. Asia, salute to you. My brother Nick, what up? What up? What up? What up? Shorty King in the building. JC was popping. Hope all is well. Aaron was good. What I do? I ain't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, Travel One, salute. T Will, what up? Sid Bud was popping. Hope all is well. Tony was goody. Keeps it 100. Salute. Love seeing the building, of course. My brother T Leaves, Omega Dreads. I like it. Gas Mask, salute my G. Curtis in the building. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Jody, salute. He Shamat was popping. I got T Will already. T Leads with a $5 super sticker. Princess Cammy in the building was goody. Hope all is well. No, I don't be mad. I don't really know what you was talking about, to be honest. I didn't see it. Yeah, so she be asking for the link 2 minutes into the stream. Chris was popping. E-Dub in the building. Aaron L in the building. Salute my brother. Was good. Tom was popping. Hope all is well. Yeah, I gotta look at it. See, I just started using it. I don't really be knowing like what it says on you guys' end. You know what I'm saying? DC was shaking. Food for thought. Salute. Brittany B was popping. HQ was goody. Sherelle was popping. Convergence. No, I'm live, man. I just touched back down in Texas, man. I've been running around. See through you, salute. Well, we're gonna see. You know what I mean? Ms. Parker, Shalom. Hope all is well. Versus Cammy with the $2. Much love, happy, and rest in peace, Trinidad. Hugs and kisses. O'Ken was goody, my boy. Black Seinfeld in the building. We got 90 people in the building thus far, and we have 45 likes. I'm gonna drop the link for sure. Obviously, you see the title. You know, when I'm looking at our people specifically, there was a time that Shrell and I had a stream going back and forth about the indigenous people, who they are, and more, you know, I guess what was pointed out in that stream is what they look like. But I also know that we hear about different things, like we hear about the Trail of Tears. That's often, you know, spoken about, but I don't think we understand how the magnitude of that. You know what I'm saying? The magnitude of the Trail of Tears, as an example. You guys should definitely go watch this movie. From what I gathered, from the book itself, the gentleman who did his actual due diligence, the Osage tribe. I got a clip up here I want to share with y'all. The movie came out. It was an Apple movie. Killers of the Flower Moon with Leonardo DiCaprio. It was directed by Martin Scorsese along with De Niro, right? And this tribe was actually relocated to a desolate part of Oklahoma, but they were relocated on a gold mine for all intents and purposes to a land where it had a bunch of oil. But even how they were manipulated with the oil and killed off so they can so people have access to the oil, is just astounding, right? And again, the Trail of Tears is a very small part of the Indian Removal Act. You know, I got another tribe up here called the Lenape tribe. They dwell primarily like Delaware, New York, and all that. But when you hear Wall Street, we don't even know where it derived from. You know, why is it called Wall Street in the first place? What did the Dutch do to the Lenape tribe to keep them out of their own lands? Right? These things are all intertwined. And then obviously the Indian Removal Act, but there's so many tribes that were affected. You know, it's funny how the comics back in the day, you remember Lionel Salute. You remember like on Comic View, they always be like, you know, black people say they always got Cherokee in them, right? And we used to take it as a joke. And it's like, oh, all they know is Cherokee. Well, the Cherokee tribe was pretty large too, you know. They had a couple different, you know, up in the north and in the south as well. And so it sounded like a joke, but you'd be surprised how much truth that actually has in it, you know. But we kind of always heard it like, oh, of course, Cherokee, that's the only tribe we knew. But surprisingly, that's not too far from the truth. I DJ'd a party. Let me see if I can find this really quick. I DJ'd a party on a reservation a couple like a year and a half ago, I believe. 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Because what I was astounded by, and this was in Idaho, is how many black families were on the reservation itself. Like it was just a thing, you know. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button. Let me see if I can find this just in terms of my anecdotal experience, right? Actually on the reservation. And you should see the reservations. It's like you going back in time, you know. Of course, it had a casino on it, but the casino was kind of small when you initially drive into the reservation itself. But, you know, broken down trucks and, you know, they got a bunch of churches, right? Because that part of the colonization was probably, I think, hurt the Native Americans almost the most, I would argue. Just trying to switch them from how they did things to how the Europeans wanted them to do things, specifically with religion. When you look at the Lenape tribe, and I'm going to play this short video for you guys, they had intricate ways of bartering, different systems of travel, the tribes intertwining amongst each other, right? And coming together because they had different resources in different places. A lot of that didn't come from Europe. They were already doing those things, you know? So let me see if I can find this real quick. Okay, perfect, right here. So let me show you guys this picture. So I went out there. So I was DJing in DC, right? And the lady that got me on this, she's right here. She just came to a club that I was DJing at, you know. She just came to a club that I was DJing at in DC. She was there just like visiting DC. And so she got my information, and like a year later, it's like, hey, can you come out here and do this party? So it was literally just as organic as that, right? When you look here on this picture, I'm the only person that's not from this tribe. This gentleman here is from, oh, you guys can't see my mouse. So see the gentleman with the blondish like dreads, I guess. He's Native American. He came out of Canada, you know. But all the other people that you see on the flyer are from this specific tribe where I went in the Lapway City Park, the Lapway tribe. All these people are from the Lapway tribe. Look at them. Right? This isn't coincidence. You know, but look at them. And so this is literally an anecdotal experience that I had, just literally getting called to do a party because I was doing a good job DJing all the way across the country. Like they flew me out there the whole 9 yards because they're missing a little bit of just the culture, just because in the middle of Idaho, you know, you just don't have the same opportunities, the same influences, you know. But and obviously they don't have DJs, I'm sure, in plethora like we did in DC. But just look at the people here on this flyer, you know. And so I'm just harping on this because we oftentimes dismissed it coming up. Oh yeah, of course you Cherokee, this, that, and the third. Well, that ain't so far from the truth, you know. And when we celebrating these holidays, you know, where, how, why, you know, the stories they told us, should we continue to perpetuate in terms of celebrating these holidays when we know the truth? You know, let me show you guys the, what do I want to go to first? Let's do the Killers of the Flower Moon first, right? Just because I want you guys to hear the egregious nature of how the indigenous people, you know, were treated here. This is 8 minutes. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I had to come on because, like I said, I missed the buck this afternoon, at 8 p.m. when I usually come on Wednesdays. So salute to the 121 people in the building. I'm going to drop the link as well. I just don't want this to be too convoluted before I do. Just so we can hear some of the different stories. So this one here is the Osage. You know, they were, again, the Indian Removal Act affected these people. They were relocated to Oklahoma in an area about the size of like Delaware, right? It looks desolate. There's nothing to grow on. You know, it looked like all rocks and things of that nature. And they were able to find oil. But even the manipulation when they found the oil is just tragic. Taking these people's lives away, right, just to have access to the money is just tragic, you know. So many of these people were killed in their 20s, you know. They were given like stewards as an so I might be using the wrong terminology. They'll fix it in the clip I'm about to show you, right? But essentially, the families lived where they lived, right, and they had access to the oil that on the land that they lived on. They definitely got their money, but what was happening is they were given a white like accountant for all intents and purposes to help them manage their money. But you know what's happening. They skimming it, not giving it to them. And then what they were finding is, hey, if I can get one of your women to marry one of these white men, you die, right? Who does that deed go to? And so it was genocide in many respects, right? So let's play this. Let me just speed it up a bit. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. And I was having a conversation and someone told me I'm gonna remove the meaning of the lights and decorations just because I like them. But I was like, well, hey, you're doing it for Christmas. You want to put up a Christmas tree. You understand that contradicts you know, the biblical text that you say you follow. But the person was like, oh, I'm just going to remove that reasoning and put them up because I like lights. But let's be clear. The spirit of which we're doing things is still the spirit. And so let's just take a look at a couple of these different tribes and how they destroyed, you know, and then we have holidays that kind of commemorate the lies that were told to us regarding these people. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
In an out-of-the-way corner of Oklahoma called Gray Horse, down a road you wouldn't take unless you knew what was at the other end, sits a small cemetery. It's unremarkable in many respects, until that is you look at the dates. 1923 seems to have been a particularly bad year. And when you look at the ages, it appears few died of old age. Exactly what happened out here on the Great Plains has captivated New Yorker magazine writer David Grann for the last 5 years. And what he's written, Killers of the Flower Moon, has left him with a discomfort he still can't quite
Definitely watch the movie if you have Apple Plus.
shake.
This is a story that has real evil in it. Evil like I've never covered or ever experienced.
Really? Was that dark?
Yeah, yes. The villain in the story, or one of the villains, and the people complicit, are as evil as anybody I've ever encountered.
His quest took him to the Osage Nation, a remote territory in Oklahoma about the size of Delaware. Like much of the area that was set aside for Native Americans, it wasn't exactly prime real estate. But in the early 1920s, something happened out here that no one expected. An oil rush.
Most white settlers saw it as the ground as being rocky and infertile. And then lo and behold, this land turned out to be sitting above some of the largest oil deposits in the United States.
Almost overnight, the Osage, who owned the land's mineral rights, went from being among America's poorest to the richest people per capita in the world.
One Osage writer later described them as the Kuwaitis of the 1920s.
Like, how much money were we talking?
Oh, they were drawing millions. So by 1923, the Osage collectively received that year more than $30 million, which today would be worth the equivalent of more than $400 million. And this would be.
So they got their money, right? Quote unquote. They got their money, what it was worth. But just listen to like the just snake-like behavior to how to usurp these people's authority, land, and monetary gains, right? And to the most extreme points of killing them.
Being split up by a group of about 2,000 people.
With the oil royalties, the Osage built mansions. They hired white servants. They drove the finest cars. Osage towns like Pawhuska became bustling cities, flush with cash, and the biggest oil barons of the day.
And so oftentimes you hear these stories, right? And this is where they stop. They always try to tell you things like for instance, like what Blue Jays put in the chat, right? About how much they benefited these people, right? And like, you know, this is where the story would end oftentimes. But the one thing I appreciate about this writer is that he went deeper. Pause.
1920s, this was just one of the most booming towns in all of the West. It was famous across the West because there was so much money here.
The U.S. government, however, didn't let the Osage control that money. Each ward, as the Osage were called, was assigned a white guardian, supposedly to
this white guardian thing.
Protect the Osage from mismanaging their newfound wealth. But the law actually just invited abuse.
So there were kickbacks, there was skimming, and in many cases it was just outright stealing where they would just abscond with millions of dollars from these Osage. And the Osage never saw this money again.
But the worst of the worst conspired to do far more than steal, as Grant found out when he uncovered a dusty ledger in the archives.
And I opened up the book, and it had the name of the guardian, and then underneath it had the names of the wards. Next to many of the names of the wards, it simply said the word dead. And then you go down to another Osage ward, and next to the name it said dead, dead. Skip a few more. Dead, dead, dead.
One by one, the Osage were being murdered. Between 1921 and 1925, the official number was 27. It became known as the Osage Reign of Terror.
There were shootings, there was poisonings. One man was thrown off a speeding train. The terror was enormous because nobody knew who would be.
And in watching the movie, and if you read the book as well, right? These people were prone to diabetes, right? And so they couldn't get the insulin necessarily. And even when they did, the doctors were in on it, right? So these things would be watered down or diluted or not insulin at all. And so they would have them taking these shots to pump it into their veins. And it was kind of easy just to say, oh, the medicine isn't working, right? Especially back then when people didn't understand how important it was, right? And insulin was super expensive, but they had the money, but for some reason they were cutting off the access, right? And it's just vile shit like that is almost easy to cover up, especially when you got full control, especially when people lack understanding, right? And then you're literally looking to the people to help you when they're literally trying to hurt you, right? You know, and then they tell stories about trading and all this other stuff. Then you would have to explain why are the indigenous, right, so desolate compared to the people that they were trading with, if everything was so fair and it was equal and people were trying to help each other, right? The story wouldn't look how it looks now. You know, they wouldn't be dependent on, you know, everybody think Indian reservations are so rich because they think they all got these casinos. Right, but we know better.
Next, but also nobody was doing anything to stop it.
Few families suffered more than Molly Burkhart's.
She looks kind of sad, doesn't she?
The Burkhardt is like the main part of the story too. If you watch the movie,
Her eyes look sad.
Margie Burkhardt is her granddaughter.
You'd have to be incredibly
artichoke
strong
salute.
to even face half of what she went through.
Her grandmother had married a young Texan named Ernest Burkhardt, who was the nephew of the most powerful man in Osage County, William K. Hale. Hale wasn't entitled to any Osage oil money.
And then they often want you to think that K. Hale right here, right, is an outlier. Look at the history. Look at the Native Americans. Look at how large of a population they are now. This shit wasn't fair. Wasn't nobody friends. This man right here is the norm. Right? And they try to justify it to say, well, the Native Americans were fighting each other, right? But watch when I show you the Lenape on the East Coast. You know, they lean on these little stories about calling these people savages and whatever the case is, right? Like the Europeans. If you ever watch Vikings, you see how vile those people are. But they try to paint a picture like the Native Americans were so savage and needed to be tamed and shit like that, when that's not the case, right? But this what they often do.
But as Molly's husband, his nephew Ernest was. They hadn't been married long when Molly's older sister Anna was found murdered in this ravine. She was last seen heading here with two white men.
One of the killers held her up. The other killer shot her right in the back of the head.
2 months after that, Molly's mother Lizzie died suspiciously. Molly believed she had been poisoned. 2 years after that, another sister, Rita, died when her house exploded. The cause? A homemade bomb. The family's oil rights ended up in the hands of the only family members still alive, Molly and her husband, Ernest.
It's just sad. The whole family just wiped out for nothing more than somebody's greed.
Because at least one of the murders took place on federal land, the FBI was brought in. It was the young agency's first case, and a young J. Edgar Hoover wanted it solved. It was so high profile, it was even featured in a movie starring Jimmy Stewart.
So there's only one little Indian left, Mr. McCutcheon. Molly, the wife of your nephew here.
The real-life agents began to zero in on Molly's husband. He was arrested and brought here for trial.
But the courthouse hasn't changed at all.
No,
right?
it looks just the way it looked back in 1926 when the trial took place here.
What unfolded at the old Pawhuska courthouse was sensational, to say the least.
This would have been, in its day, considered the trial of the century.
Under oath, Ernest admitted it was his own brother who'd murdered Molly's sister, Anna, and that his uncle, that benign-looking William K. Hale, had ordered it, along with the murder of Molly's other sister, Rita. Worst of all, the plan it seemed was for Ernest himself to finish the job by murdering Molly, getting sole.
They shot her sister in the back of the head, right? And then the other sister, they blew up her entire house. Blew the house to smithereens. And then Anna, the main character from the movie and the book, you know, when they focus on the Burkhardts, her husband was poisoning her because she needed to take insulin shots.
Possession of the oil rights.
When Molly realized that her husband who had helped search for the killers, was in fact the killer, she could never look at him again.
But that's hardly where the story ends. Grand believes there were far more murders than the FBI ever investigated.
And when I began researching the story, I thought of it as a traditional mystery.
What's up, Knight?
About your stories, right?
Yeah, this is the Osage Knight. So yeah, this is the one right here.
Who done it? And by the end, I realized this wasn't a who done it. It was who didn't do it. Meaning, so many people were part of this.
The whole town, almost, at least the white part of town,
Was complicit.
But that'll be ignored, right? They were all getting along, right? But for somehow, this particular set of white folks is all complicit, but everybody else around here was getting along and shit like that. You would have to explain why the Native Americans are where they are now, right? You have to explain, and I wasn't even focused on white people. It's just that y'all windmilling in chat for no reason. If I go there, I'm gonna go there, right? But I'm just talking about what was actually done to the Native Americans. And I just want to make sure we understand the stories.
The gush of oil eventually slowed. The Osage mansions were abandoned. Even the Osage school is now a forgotten, overgrown mess. But the Osage themselves never forgot, even if history did.
There are still killers who remain unknown. There's still conspirators whose names have not been identified. And so some of these secrets, unfortunately, will probably remain lost to history.
So the Osage one, man, I definitely recommend you guys go watch that movie. 'Cause I think it's pretty dope, and based on the book, it's very, very closely related, you know. Have you guys heard of the Lenape tribe? Have you guys heard of that tribe specifically? It's a pretty large tribe for all intents and purposes, right? So this is Smithsonian Magazine, right? And this is regarding Wall Street, you know, in New York, where you hear about it today. When the Dutch arrived in the 17th century, what's now New York City, their encounters with the indigenous people known as the Lenape were at first mostly amicable, right? And that's where the story starts, right? That's how the story ends, according to historical records. They shared the land and traded guns, beads, and wool for beaver furs. As the myth goes, the Dutch even quote unquote purchased Manhattan Island from the Lenape in 1626. The transaction, enforced by the eventual building of wall around New Amsterdam, marked the very beginning of the Lenape's forced mass migration of their homeland. So you even see it, right? Like right there, right in the chat. If we just look, just use the anecdotal example. That's where the story stops. All this trading, and they were fair and purchased it and things of that nature, right? The wall, which started showing us on maps in 1660s, was built to keep out the Native Americans and the British. It eventually became Wall Street, and Manhattan became Manhattan, where part of the Lenape trade routes known as Wickus, I'm gonna mess it up, became Breadway, later Broadway. The Lenape helped shape the geography of the modern day New York City, but other traces of their legacy have all but vanished. And one of the most diverse cities in the United States, they're telling new native New Yorkers, they're tellingly few native New Yorkers. Some Lenape today, however, are working to bring their heritage back to the city, right? This doesn't happen if all this shit was so amicable. Stop saying that. Stop doing that. We don't care. You're lying, right? And we keep celebrating this shit because y'all come and say, oh no, it wasn't cool, because they wouldn't be erased if that's the case. Let me show you how the Lenape people look for all the black people that are sitting out here talking about happy Thanksgiving and shit like that, right? Let's look at these people, right? And of course, all this stuff get cast aside all the time, right? Let's see. So this here, they depict them. They depict them when telling this story, right? I like this clip here specifically. Yep, Mac Delts, right? I like this specifically because I like the pictures, and it tells you about the sophistication of these people, you know, about how they operated one another, right? How they kept their traditions close, right? Built trade routes, as it just mentioned, and things of that nature, shaped New York City. You know, Delaware was rich with resources, and they took full advantage of it, right?
The eastern woodlands of North America bore witness to the ancient presence of the Lenape and Nanticoke peoples, who have a rich and storied history that stretches back thousands of years. These indigenous groups thrived for centuries before the arrival of Europeans, developing complex societies with their own unique customs, traditions, and ways of life. The Lenape, often referred to as the Delaware Indians or Moors, inhabited the Delaware Valley and surrounding areas, a region abundant with natural resources that supported their communities. Their kinship ties connected them to other Algonquian-speaking peoples, creating a network of relationships that extended across vast distances. The Nanticoke, residing along the Chesapeake Bay, developed a rich maritime culture, relying heavily on the bay's resources for sustenance and trade. These two groups shared a common ancestry and cultural affinities, which were reflected in their languages, spiritual beliefs, and social structures. The Lenape held a position of respect among Algonquian-speaking peoples, often serving as mediators and leaders within the broader Algonquian community. Their territory encompassed present-day New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, and Delaware, areas that were rich in biodiversity and provided ample resources for their way of life. The Nanticoke, skilled hunters, fishers, and farmers, adapted to their coastal environment, utilizing the land and sea to sustain their communities and trade with neighboring groups. Both the Lenape and the Nanticoke possessed rich oral traditions, preserving their history and beliefs through stories, songs, and ceremonies passed down through generations. However, the arrival of Europeans in the 17th century would forever alter their history, bringing profound changes and challenges to their way of life. Despite the hardships, the resilience and spirit of the Lenape and Nanticoke endure, as they continue to honor their heritage and maintain their cultural practices in the face of adversity. The term Delaware Indians.
Yeah, more is just dark skin. You know, that's the baseline meaning.
Lies the complex tapestry of cultures and identities that have evolved over centuries. This name, given by European settlers, masks the rich and intricate history of the people who call themselves the Lenape. Intertribal relationships, forged through trade, diplomacy, and intermarriage, shaped their collective history. These interactions were not merely transactional, but were deeply rooted in mutual respect and shared survival strategies. The Lenape, at the crossroads of ancient trading networks, interacted extensively with neighboring groups. These networks were the lifeblood of their economy, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices. The Nanticoke engaged in trade and diplomacy with both Algonquian and Iroquoian-speaking peoples. These relationships were crucial for maintaining peace and fostering alliances that could be called upon in times of need. Intermarriage strengthened ties between the Lenape, Nanticoke, and other groups. These unions were more than personal. They were strategic, binding communities together and ensuring the continuity of cultural traditions. The influx of refugees from other tribes added complexity to the demographic landscape. These newcomers brought with them their own customs and traditions, further enriching the cultural mosaic. This intermingling of cultures resulted in a vibrant and dynamic society. The blending of
right, but we looking at this, right? First thing they say, everybody was warring and killing each other. So when the white people came, they had to civilize them. They were all acting like savages, right? So they just joined in on the fun. No, people were thriving and working, right, and trying to figure out several things, right? Because they lived in different places, therefore there were different resources, right? Like the one tribe name, there was a maritime coast, so they lived on the water, you know, and so they traded, right? They came together, they preserved traditions. But the first thing they try to tell you is all these people were savages.
different traditions and practices created a unique cultural identity that was both resilient and adaptable. The arrival of Europeans disrupted these delicate social and cultural fabrics. Their presence introduced new challenges, including diseases, land disputes, and a different worldview that clashed with indigenous ways of life. Missionaries sought to suppress traditional beliefs and practices, further eroding cultural integrity. Their efforts to convert the indigenous population often led to the loss of languages, rituals, and a sense of community that had been built over generations. The arrival of Europeans in the 17th century marked a significant turning point for the Delaware Indians, forever altering their way of life and their connection to their ancestral lands. Colonial powers imposed their own systems of classification, completely disregarding the rich and diverse histories and identities of the indigenous peoples. This erasure of identity was a deliberate act to undermine their cultural heritage. Numerous treaties, often signed under duress or through deceit, resulted in the loss of vast tracts of land. These agreements led to the displacement of entire indigenous communities, severing their ties to the land that had sustained them for generations. The term Delaware, imposed by European colonists, served to obscure the distinct histories and cultural nuances of the various tribes. This homogenization was a tool to simplify control and administration, but it stripped away the unique identities of the people. Through a series of treaties, the Delaware Indians were forced onto ever-shrinking reservations. These lands were often far from their original territories, making it difficult to maintain their traditional ways of life. The imposition of European legal and social structures further undermined their self-governance and cultural autonomy. Indigenous laws and customs were replaced with foreign systems that did not respect their values or ways of life. Traditional justice systems, which had been in place for centuries, were supplanted by European courts. This not only disrupted their legal traditions, but also imposed foreign concepts of justice and punishment. The forced removal of children from their families aimed to assimilate them into European culture. This was done through boarding schools where they were forbidden to speak their native languages or practice their traditions. Despite these immense hardships, the Delaware Indians clung to their traditions, showcasing their resilience and determination to preserve their cultural heritage. Their stories and practices were passed down through generations, ensuring their survival. Their struggle to reclaim their narrative and rights continues to this day. This ongoing fight is a testament to the enduring legacy of colonization and the unyielding spirit of indigenous peoples in their quest for justice and recognition. Trust us when we say, this journey through America's hidden black past is just beginning. If this glimpse into a world lost to time has captured your imagination, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more adventures into the unknown. Lastly, for more information about the names and subjects mentioned in this video, get your copy of the Amazon best-selling book series, 19 White Men Who Admitted There Were Indigenous Black People in the Americas, and 13 Black Scholars Who Admitted There Were Black People in the Americas Before Columbus by Chase McGee. Link in the description. Stay curious and keep exploring.
Yeah, man. So when you go out here celebrating this pagan hedonistic shit, man, understand, these people overwhelmingly did not benefit. They did not benefit. The stories always stop at when they first get here. Right? That the story always stops there, right? We need to understand, and then you do what you will with the right information. The picture's always painted. Oh, we traded. Well, you have to explain to me why these people are where they are, and the people that came here are where they are. If it was harmonious, then people would be moving parallel. But these people were displaced. You have to explain that. You have to explain the Indian Removal Act, right? So Indian Removal Act, you guys heard of this. You guys, we mostly hear about the Trail of Tears, right? But it's much larger than that. So this is just the AI overview. Indian Removal Act. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 was a law that allowed President Andrew Jackson to negotiate treaties with Native American tribes to relocate them from their homelands and existing states and territories to unsettled land west of the Mississippi River. The act offered offered incentives to tribes such as financial and material assistance and protection from the government, right? This allowed Jackson and his supporters to pressure, bribe, and threaten tribes in signing removal treaties. The act led to a forced relocation of tens of thousands of Native Americans, including members of the Cherokee, Muskogee Creek, the Seminole, and Choctaw nations. The forced march of the Cherokee west in 1838 and 1839 became known as the Trail of Tears. The death toll from the Trail of Tears, as well as the internment camps in the aftermath, was over 4,000 people. The Trail of Tears has come to symbolize the injustice and tragedy of the Native American experience. Right? It's bigger than that one march. These niggas got done dirty and filthy. Right? I'm sick of them trying to justify this shit, talking about people's getting along. You have to explain to me why they are where they are then. Why it's such a disparity. Stop listening to them. It's stupid. Let me show y'all this. So this sign here, right? Right, people that look like me, right? Creek Indian Removal. This is what this sign says here. Inscription: Black Warriors Path played a critical role as a route for Creek removal. On December 19, 1835, some 511 Creek immigrants passed along the path through present-day Oakville Indian Mounds Park. In September 1836, a group of Creeks left Tallahassee in a wagon train of 45 wagons, 500 ponies, and 2,000 Indians. The contingent followed along Black Warriors Path and passed through the present-day Oakville Indian Mounds Park in September 23, 1836. It's ironic that the route used the General John Coffee Army and Davy Crockett to defeat the Creeks was one of the same routes in the Creek removal, Alabama. Alabama remains the home of the Creek Indians today. They ain't saying nothing about slaves here. They didn't say nothing about slaves here. Let me show y'all this. Let me show you this right here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. One second. Let me see if I can find this. I want you guys to look up Queen Chief Warhorse when you get an opportunity. You know? But oftentimes these stories are so skewed and not told in their entirety, right? But where we are now and today kind of tells us what actually happened. You know? Let me do this. So I just wanted to show you guys those couple things really quickly as we continue to celebrate these pagan holidays, because it just don't make a lot of sense anymore, especially since we have this technology and we're able to look up so much information. That pilgrim shit is over with, you know. Nobody cares about that shit. Does all mean all? No, all doesn't mean all. But we have to know what actually happened. There's no way these people are this desolate if everybody was smiling and getting along. It's foolish to even say. It's disrespectful to even try to paint that narrative when present day tells you much different. So this is something I wanted to cover. I felt the need to cover it, right? And it's not even about what you should go out and do to somebody. That's not even what it's about, right? It's just about understanding why we celebrating a thing that probably shouldn't be celebrated in mass. Now that we have the information. I thought that the mantra was, if you know better, you do better. You know? But we just seem to stay in this perpetual, well, this is what I've always done, you know? Right? This is what I've always done, so why change it? Well, because it's wrong. I think Love C said it one time, and it's like you know a thing, but until it's said out loud, it doesn't resonate the same. It's always going to be the few that are doing the right thing most often, right? Which is why you can't predicate right and wrong on the masses, right? Even biblically speaking, it's the few, right? It says straight is the gate, but narrow is the way, right? Many will be called, but few will be chosen. It says the 1/3 is going to make it. That means the 2/3 is going to be cut off. So quite often it's the few. Back when I joined the fraternity back in 2008, there's this poem that we had was members versus men, because the one I joined back then, right, just not knowing everything I know now, has the least amount of members, but probably the most influence, just because of the people that's in it. But because the process to get in is so difficult, it doesn't have as many members. Still a lot of people, obviously, but it's smaller than the other organizations that are of the same ilk. You know, so I just looking at that like, okay. But when C said it, like it clicked for me, you know, like this, yeah, Blue Jay, hit the link. I'll edify you real quick, you know, but I'll edify you quickly. What was I about to say? You know, look at this. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Let's see if I can find this real quick. One second. I'm trying to find the last lunar stone. It's found in New Mexico. But it's said to have the 10 commandments on it. Let's see if I can find a big picture of it. Because even with that, they try to act like they gave us everything and taught us. No, we already knew this stuff. We already had access to it because it's ours in the first place. Can't find a good picture of it. And my arm hurt. You know, I don't blame you. And I found that, right? Like, I found that, like, even if I'm dealing with, like, the scriptures and etc., I found that people will do a lot more from the chat because you can't think as quickly up here, or you can't Google as quickly up here. So I realized that people often do that. They'll have like a lot to say in the chats, but it's different when they get on the panel, right? Because also, I'm not being disrespectful to anybody on the panel, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna get that surgery. John Henry, what's goody? I'm gonna get that surgery. Soon here come. You know. No, I'm just looking for a picture of the lost lunar stone. That's all. You know, just because there's a lot of perversion in the stories that were told. I was just looking for a better picture. Let me see, but it won't let me magnify these. It's all good. Let me read this real quick. Aaron with the $2. People act like Native American only means the U.S. Aaron with the $2. Proud Cherokee right here. Fuck Thanksgiving and the ham. I thought they eat that ham shit for Christmas, don't they? I wish, man. They said the recovery like 7 months. Like 7 months for that shit, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, I ain't staying up here all night. I just wanted to cover this, especially because you know, we missed the premiere at 8 o'clock, which is when we usually go live. But yeah, man, there's a lot of this, man. Just celebrating the foolishness, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm sure I will. You know, thank you. It's just a lot of it, right? And I think we just got to continue to learn and edify one another to say, okay, this is wrong, regardless if I've been doing it for 100 years. Who cares, right? If it's wrong, it's wrong. You know, oftentimes I said this before, when I'm coaching the kids, I kind of prefer that a few of them like didn't even play under certain coaches. Thanks, Art. because they learn the wrong way for so long. You have to like reteach them. But the best ones come out well from it, you know, because there's a baseline, right? So, for as an example, when they're saying they used to trade, well, that's true. They did used to trade, right? But overwhelmingly, they were done dirty. They were lied to. They were done filthy, right? So don't leave that part out. They weren't getting along. They not friends, right? You can't be relegated to a reservation. You can't have a Indian Removal Act to try to save the new white settlers, right? To protect the white settlers, displacing people from their homes, right? And act like this shit was friendly. You don't have Killers of the Flower Moon with the Osage and say, oh, everybody was cool. That's just an anecdote. No. You don't march that many people, you know what I mean, from Florida to Oklahoma and say, oh, we was cool. It doesn't make sense, right? It's gaslighting. You spitting in somebody's face and acting like you ain't. Does all mean all? No. But that shit to Omega Dredge just took the words out of my mouth. Pause. It was overwhelmingly hostile. Just call it what it is. You get better results by calling it what it is. Not trying to justify it and give us anecdotal examples, because niggas ain't falling for that shit no more. You know? I thought I saw Sherelle. I know she liked this shit, but I don't think I see her. And Blue Jay, I see you. You just gotta get on camera. No, I ain't eat no sweet potato pie, bro. I ain't even been drinking, you know. I ain't even been drinking. Now that I hurt my damn shoulder though, I'll be wanting to drink, but I haven't yet. OG Omar Smith in the building.
Perfect. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Omar with the 20 ball says, may God continue to assist you with this journey to save the people. Exclamation point. Truth to power. I know you understand and accept your purpose. Yes, sir. I appreciate the energy and advice that you always give me. I've been taking heed. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to perpetuate that message. I know you told me I'm able to articulate in a way where more people can understand it. So I make sure I take great pride and I heed that instruction. So I love you and I appreciate you. Oh, as always, thanks Omar Smith for the first 20 ball of the day. Didn't fit. I never tried no pecan pie. I feel I'm too young to eat pecan pie. You know what I'm saying? That shit, that's some old people shit, man. You know, I can't eat no pecan pie. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, no weapons, boy. Yeah, Rainbow, I played a clip when I first came on. When Rainbow was when Trinidad was on with just Aaron and myself, and she got to get her shit off uninterrupted.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Damn. Is a pound cake really have a pound of like, is it like a pound of flour, a pound of sugar, a pound of like what I mean? Is that really how a pound cake works? I don't know. Is that how pound cake works? Damn. I ain't gonna lie. The best pound cake I ever had was Indigenous. I think that's the one out the store, right? The Indigenous joint. That's the best one. They used to have this chocolate one that was hitting. But my aunt used to make it. niggas used to be riding over there to get that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit wasn't all that. Oh, it's maybe sour cream. Anton, you already know, kid. Hey, Sherelle, you know you can't cook. Cream cheese, you know you can't cook, Sherelle. Sherelle, you can cook? Rainbow, you be cooking? Miss Parker.
Perfect. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Thank you, Miss Parker, for the 20 ball. She said, just because I love learning from you.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Peace and blessings.
Perfect.
Hey, man, we be learning together, I get inspired by these things based on, like, the feedback, And I know that things that are edifying usually don't have as much. I mean, plus it's late as hell, right? I never come on this late. But, the streams that have a lot of edification are usually a little bit slower. But I expect it. But I enjoy it, though, I enjoy the bill. T was popping.
What's good with you? How's my audio?
It's good, man. It was goody.
Hey, man. Gotta give you your props on the show so far, man. My biggest thing is like what I said in the chat. Like I've already for the last year, I've been looking into the Moorish American thing. Been kind of just dipping my toe in the water a little bit. So when you started the stream and started saying that, it kind of all crystallized. Like I've been wanting to stop calling Black people Black for a long time because if you look into what it actually means, it doesn't describe us at all. As a people. So yeah, I'm kind of like the only person in my family that is even willing to go against the grain. Like I'll be like, I'm not doing Christmas. I'll be like, I'm not doing, like, I'm the only person that will really just be like, if I get better information, I'm gonna apply it. But yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and so I can already see me trying to pass it along to other people in my family and be like, yo, I don't want to really support this stuff. And they're just gonna be like, well, why not? Like, this is what we've always done. It's just like, and then you got to try to break it down to them and explain it to them, and they may not get it or understand. So,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah, and then, I used to struggle more and more, like if I'm trying to convey the message regarding the truth, fortunately, like my brothers to a decent extent, sis a little bit, my mom, like they get it, my like immediate family, but my older brother not so much, and you get to a point where like, yo, yeah, like no doubt, you know what I mean, like you ain't gonna make it, it is what it is. Like everybody can't go, but now I used to be much more argumentative, when it came to trying to convey the message, and I think oration is a skill. Like I think it's almost innate. Like if you can orate, if you're a good orator, you're born, and then you can like hone the skill, but don't get frustrated with. I mean, get frustrated with it. Shit, why not? But it's just you get to a point you're like, all right, you good,
Yeah, y'all say it all the time. Everybody ain't gonna make it, but the people who are willing to listen, those are the people that you put your energy into. Because the frustration, if you can channel that energy into something positive, then that's where you start to see the fruits of what you're doing. So my biggest thing was just trying to get to the point where I'm like, I'm ready to get to the truth. I'm ready to just say, all right, all of this stuff, I'm leaving it behind. Like I had already stopped eating a lot of bad foods. Yeah, you had to, the foods that we were talking about. This was it this week or last week? I can't remember, but like I was already doing stuff like that. So when I hear it now, it just kind of confirms like, all right, I'm moving in the right direction. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So
that's
when you hear when you hear the information, you know, like I said, you can't unhear it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. That's good. That's good. We just keep on trucking. You know, we just keep on trucking, keep on making the right waves as much as possible. But yeah, this Thanksgiving shit, it's annoying, man. Like it really is. But it's just hard for people to break from traditions, you know. And let's be clear, right? Niggas have a lot of great memories on, Thanksgiving, right? Um, just eating, playing football, and we got to be like fair, right? Like who don't watch football on Thanksgiving, right? If I was home, everybody go to the high school game, shit like that. I think we just got to understand what's happening around us, because I think we letting a lot of things happen to us, like people be talking, right? And I've been fortunate enough to be able to actually go to a reservation and see that it was like 30% black people. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just
Yeah.
crazy.
That's what I said in the chat. I was like, that people on them picture, that flyer that you put up. I was like, they look like us. They
And
they look
that
they
was,
look like us.
and I met all those people. You know what I mean? Like I was so astounded by it, like, and then I went to like a powwow. They don't necessarily let everybody go, but since I was invited and all that other shit. But it's like a powerful thing, It looked like a bunch of motherfuckers like woo, 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 woo. Hell nah. Like it was interesting, like you could feel the energy. And only certain of them powwow too. Like you have to practice. They practice, so that shit was it was inspirational, man. And the kids like just so interested in like the equipment and just coming up. Half the kids look like me, and then half the kids look like like how people think Native Americans look, right? And even when in the clip I showed, they do like there's different, right? There's different looks. It's not a homogenous group, So Omar with the $5 says, Tea Leaves, welcome to being independent thinking revolutionary. Welcome, my brother, to being a free man. All love, bro.
It's getting better every day, Omar. Omar is dope, man. I met him. He's dope, man.
He always say, Hamp, say it so they can understand what I'm saying.
Facts.
Man. John, what's popping? John Henry with the 100 ball says, I agree. The concept of Thanksgiving is a farce and Native Americans were truly wronged. Yet the sentiment currently being expressed wasn't considered when the administration in the U.S. office between 2017 and 2020 was running pipeline across Indian territory.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's heavy.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
That's heavy, John. Damn. John, why you up, John? Damn, that is heavy, man. Oh shoot, this give me opportunity to play this right here. Hold on, let me find it. Salute to John Henry for the first 100 ball of the day. I get a lot of edification from John Henry too. Like even if I don't respond, I usually read most of this shit. He'll send me clips and different articles and shit. I'm like, damn. That take a level of due diligence that I think people gotta respect.
Yeah. He trying to make sure you good.
You say?
Oh, it's iron sharpen iron, He trying to make sure you good. Well read.
No, 100%. Yeah, and it don't even be like it won't even be a point of contention for me. It'll be like if we're talking about a topic, he'll send me things regarding the topic to make sure that it's vetted out appropriately. You know what I mean? Like actual sources, articles, what's the verbiage I'm looking for? Peer review articles, things like that, things that have credence, Not like Wikipedia and shit like that, you know.
Hey, get him, That's what I was. That's what
Yo, even you gotta stand up, bro. You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up. Stand up, EBD.
Hit him. Okay. That's how you do it. That's what I'm talking about. Hurt him. Traveling. This when I'm traveling. Yeah. That's what I'm
Salute the EBD, man.
He is like that in real life.
Yeah, he definitely like that. Like EBD definitely outside.
Funniest part of that video is he put the glasses on. I thought those was damn sunshades, man. Those are just his regular glasses.
Telling you, man. He owned a real brown hat too. Like I'm like, you really got an all brown hat. That's different.
Yeah.
John Henry with the 50 ball says better information does not necessarily mean people will choose it. Case in point being 5th of November 2024 were to be used as a litmus test. This information precipitated decisions that were made.
Perfect. Wow. Shit like that.
John. Salute to John for the first 50 ball of the day.
Weather outside is humid. She turned up her location. She must think I'm stupid. She wanna run the street, so let her ho. She doesn't show signs of stopping. So who am I to be cock blocking? I really hate to see you go. Let her ho.
Classic.
Blue Jay, are you there? I thought I saw you. I'm not sure. You got your microphone, John? I told John to get a microphone. It sounded ass. I think he got it though.
Yeah.
John the Baptist was popping. What the $5 is Thanksgiving bird and buttermilk pie. What the fuck is a buttermilk pie?
I ain't never heard of buttermilk pie. That's crazy.
What you about to say though?
I guess my thing is like you I was about to say collected. You've gathered a large, somewhat large following within our vicinity. That's I'm trying not to say the other word.
Sure.
But I think that these are the conversations that we're having are, drawing lines in the sand for a lot of people. It's like, all right, what side of the fence you going to stay on? Like, yeah, we can have the entertaining conversations. We got to, put the medicine inside the candy and stuff like that. But ultimately, like what you going to do? Like, how are you going to direct your life and direct the things that you want going forward based on the information that's given, and a lot of people I think are starting to think, at least in what we building here. So I just want to encourage people to just keep learning, keep thinking, keep moving forward.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. What's up, Victim Olympics? Yeah, man. I think I think people are doing it. I maybe I give them more credit, like even like hearing people out, because initially people's messaging may not be as clean, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't have credence, right? Like you look at people think because someone isn't learned, they're dumb, right? But the truth is the grammar is off, but they can still be, saying things of substance.
Right.
you know. And so I'm just listening. I'm like, okay, I understand it, you know. And if it's dumb, it's dumb, you know. Right? Like, but yeah, I think there's enough people listening, and I learn every single day that it still makes it worth it, you know. Like I swear that like when Omar's saying don't listen to women, right? It's a hyperbolic statement, but when he explains it and then I re-explain it, even the women be like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense," you know. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so like Dr. Lockhart was on the stream a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about like the different. I'll use the word religion for the sake of conversation, and she was saying the things that the men would say, but when she was saying it, even the ladies was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
You know, because if the men say it's like, "Oh yeah, I just want to have multiple women," no, that's not it. And then when Dr. Lockhart said it, they was like, "Oh shit," you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so I think that you know, even like Sherelle has be all over the place, but for some reason I can understand that shit. You know?
Yeah, I think you can see through a lot of the let me use the correct word
Look at
because I don't
TC,
want
she ain't a doctor. DC ain't shit.
to. Hey, shout out to Sherelle, man. She be coming through. I be had to tune it out sometimes, but she be spitting though. But sometimes I'll be like, God damn, girl.
She
I love
cross-eyed.
it. Love her though. Love her though. Real
Yeah,
talk.
man. Did you meet her when you came down here?
Ah, I ain't get a chance to meet her.
Man, you ain't missing nothing, but she cool. You know. She cool.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
man.
thought she would have came up. I thought she would have came up. This right up her
You know how
alley.
the ladies are. If they not like dressed up, they be, you know, kind of hesitant, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. JTK was popping, you know. They
Yeah.
gotta be
So I'm just
dressed up.
here. I'm here for the knowledge. Yeah. Most of the time, I don't have much to contribute as far as pushing the conversation forward. I do ask questions, but for the most part,
Yeah,
I'm trying to get it, you know.
yeah. 100%. Enos was goody. I haven't heard this. You heard this?
Nah, I ain't heard of it. Yeah, that's something I definitely would have picked up on since I'm kind of tapped in.
Yeah,
But I ain't heard of it, no.
yeah. I didn't hear that. Did y'all hear
Because I
that?
think the only reason they changed it was because they, the indigenous people, said it was offensive, you
Okay,
know.
yeah, nah, that ain't coming back.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
no real news reports even on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, right? They already got out of it. Why go back and forth?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I got
fam.
family.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got family that work for the government, and then some people that connected to the stadium themselves too. So sometimes I'll be coming across stuff a little early, but
Yeah,
events and stuff like that. But outside of that, nah, I ain't heard nothing.
yeah. I mean, they got money. It ain't about money, but nah, they ain't changing that shit back no time soon. Mm. Damn, man. Thanksgiving, man. You know, there's so many things that we don't even recognize. You know,
Mhm.
there's so many. Like when I send y'all that stuff,
Mhm.
I'm gonna send y'all like a chart of like different holidays too. You know, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah, the I'm ready email. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
So missing that. But if Blue Jay, you coming up here? Or what?
being back in the chat. You got some guests. You got a person that shouldn't make you feel awkward.
Our stool and put like a box on it and shit. I'm like, oh my God.
Blue Jay was popping. What's up?
That's good.
All right. I got roped into it. I'm ready. Lecture. No, just kidding. I'm not trying to instigate, but what would you want to say? Because I do like learning from you. You know.
Well, I guess I just ask, the information that you're dispensing is misplaced and unnecessary, right? So before I even got to anything regarding anybody who did anything, we're simply talking about the experience of these people that is factually proven, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the information starts to come out to say, well, no, we were nice. We did this. We traded. But why would you say that in the midst of when we're telling the truth about what happened to these people, right? It's almost like disrespectful. So like, think about this. If you're articulating a story about somebody doing harm to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start putting in justifications
Right.
about how, oh, well, that wasn't done to them, these people and this people, but
Yeah, you're gonna be defensive for sure.
right, you're still harmed in that instance, right?
Yeah.
So as opposed to letting your harm come out, acknowledging it, right, letting it marinate,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go to different instances where people did indeed get along, right? That makes more sense, you know?
Right. And I apologize. I had just come in, and so I didn't know that you were kind of starting out like
Mhm.
one, but still, I should have kind of read it out. And like, I wasn't meaning to discount, and I think I do need to work on that, because sometimes
Mhm.
when I try to maybe offer a different perspective, it comes across as like combative. So that's not like,
Yeah. And I
it's
think
you feeling that way, so I apologize.
yeah, not so much me feeling. I just look at decorum, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I know. And I guess I'm probably a little
Mhm.
bit frustrated because obviously a
Mhm.
lot of people have been doing a lot of Thanksgiving things, and it's like the same day that Washington finally gets their request, the Redskins name, which has been primarily driven by the natives because they feel disrespected. They took it away in the first place. And so it's like, to me, I just think, okay, we all like get along now. And so nothing to do with you per se. It's just kind
Yeah.
of that negativity I just don't deal with. So
You know, the other thing is we all don't get along, right?
true.
Everything isn't equal. And so I guess let me ask you a question. When you look at the reservations, right? How
Mhm.
they're overwhelmingly desolate.
Some.
They're no most, right? They're overwhelmingly impoverished, right? Native Americans overrepresent in drug use. The women overrepresented in getting was it trafficked, right? They don't have support. So when you look at that, how can we then justify how well people got along if the results today don't mirror that?
Well, you have to remember though, they do have their own jurisdiction. So they have their own police that are supposed to be protecting those women and interfering with, some of the drug use and the
Gotcha.
domestic violence. So
It's their fault.
our police aren't allowed to step foot on the reservation. How could we cause or prevent anything there?
It's their fault, right?
I mean, no, it's a situation. I mean, I don't necessarily
Mhm.
feel that there aren't factors as to why their communities are like in disarray a little bit, because they do have such small groups that when you're teaching your children from just a small well of knowledge, naturally you're going to be limited. So I think that's part of it, just circumstances. And obviously, maybe say poverty, or I guess, and I see like the western states because that's where I live, right? So I see the Navajo, the Utes, the Black, and they all have very like thriving, they're not like falling out of control, but I mean everybody's happy, everybody is taken care of, everybody has fun,
Mhm.
like,
And they're not, right? And so when I went out
near
there
me.
to Idaho, they're not, right? So I think people live in the circumstances of which they're given, but you would have to explain why, if everybody was getting along, why did these people have to be displaced, right? Why do you have to march them? Why do you have to silo them to such a small place, like you said, you know? And then again, explain the epidemics that they have. Explain their women being underserved and trafficked at alarming rates, right? Their natural resources have been depleted, right? So in the midst of me talking about the Osage, right, who literally the research is done to say that their power, their resources, their land, their money was all usurped. Then messages come and say, well, no, we traded bear hides or whatever. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, the land deeds are all documented. Every parcel of land is accounted for, either in the city, county, or federal court. So at some point there was an agreement and there was a signature from both parties. I mean, one of the biggest things that the natives wanted was the firearms. I mean,
this is why we don't, and so this is why this is important, everybody. You can't listen to them, right? Because we know people are often coerced when they don't have guns and they don't have an army and they don't have numbers to sign any piece of paper. Oftentimes you'll see prenups, right, get thrown out because people saying they're signing them in duress. But Blue Jays' justification is to say that they signed these treaties to the American government, ran and owned by the American government, and therefore is justified. But there's no way you sign something where you lose out significantly more than the person you made the agreement with. Nobody's signing an agreement. Just this last point, right?
Okay.
When Andrew Jackson came, right, with the act, are you saying that people signed an agreement to march themselves from Florida to Oklahoma? You think they signed that?
No, I don't know anything about that. I don't know that history from that
region. Well, let me show you before you.
So I've learned in school a little bit. I know it's called.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Let me just show you the Indian Removal Act, right? So I can get your 2 cents, right?
Okay.
What's up, T? The Indian Removal Act of 1830 was a law that allowed President Andrew Jackson to negotiate treaties with Native American tribes to relocate them from their homelands in existing states and territories to unsettled land west of the Mississippi River. Do you think that somebody would do this willingly?
So would that be like Florida, Louisiana, you're saying? Because I know that they gave, it was either Louisiana, I think it was Louisiana, they made that a sovereign state, and that was given to former slaves.
100%.
I know that. I don't know if they were moving them, but that was way before, so I don't know what. I mean, I didn't know about it.
So, but what I'm asking you is this: just in a vacuum, you're from Florida, right? That's where your land is. You know how to navigate that land. That's where all your resources are. That's where your family has grown up for hundreds of years, right? You know how to plant on that type of soil and etc. Are you saying that you would then agree to march 4,000? Excuse me, it was upwards of like 20,000 people. 4,000 died. Are you saying that these people willingly agreed to march from Florida to Oklahoma to a desolate land, not on the water, that they don't know? Do you think that you would do that, or do you think that they were forced?
I don't believe that. I wouldn't want to do that, and I don't believe they wanted to do that. But I don't know necessarily that it wasn't the leaders and their chiefs that had a financial incentive, just like we see today, just like you saw in Africa, and they're capturing people. Like some people just don't care about other
I don't know what you mean by Africa.
The chiefs sold out for their own benefit.
So you're speculating.
Hey, if you move, I don't know. I'm just saying it says allowed him to negotiate treaties. So there's some nuance there, because allowing and negotiating is not the same as like forcing. But I'm sure
the act led to the forced relocation of tens of thousands of Native Americans, including members of Cherokee, Muskogee Creek, Seminole, and Choctaw nations. So do you think that these people did this willingly?
No, like I said, I don't. But I just don't know if it was
entirely. Well, Blue Jay, I think this is the reason why I have to do these streams, right? Because you're sitting here saying you're justifying it, right?
No,
When
I'm
instead you could
raising
say,
questions.
well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that these people did it willingly, or you think they were forced overwhelmingly?
Well, this is why I bring up record, because and I am answering a question. We need to find out. We can't speculate because
And
people that want to look on the bright
well, yeah,
side will
just
try
hold
to
that thought,
downplay
right?
it.
And so everybody understand, right? Defend each other,
No, we can see who
right?
was
Stick up
paid
for
that
each other,
money.
because here's what's happening, right? Blue Jay can't say it.
No, if a
But
chief was the
oftentimes you see
beneficiary
people
of the land
melanated.
deed,
Well, let me just finish this right here, and then you can.
on. I mean, it
So,
makes sense.
so, right, we always been like inviting people, right? This is why things like this happen to us. You know, Columbus bragged about killing all those Native Americans, those indigenous people, when they
Well, he didn't
accept
come to
them.
the
When they,
U.S.
yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't say he did. But the island of Hispaniola wasn't a desolate place, right? Those people had trade, they had ships,
Oh,
they had everything.
so
You
you're
know,
saying the natives there are okay.
yeah.
You're
And
okay.
when they landed, they fed them, they clothed them, they did everything for them, and they killed them off. Right? So
They're
notice
evil.
Blue Jay can't admit that this is bullshit. She said we
No,
have to get
because
more information, right? So I just want y'all to hear it and understand it. And you got to know who you're dealing with.
I have firsthand accounts that when I told you last year on CC Show, and I came and everybody like
Right.
was dogging me because I was emotional and everything. But since then, I've gotten all those records from my sister. I've read through,
Yeah.
stories and stories. I've referenced them with both the federal government records, state, county, they're all like on census or birth certificate, marriage. So it is real. I mean, the Eldridge Church is probably one of the best sources in the world for genealogy, and that's for everybody, not just white people or Mormon people. I mean, they keep track of everything. So what they basically do is record obituaries that are public knowledge. That's how they did it, and that's how they've accumulated like so many records. But anyway, so when I started reading through all of it, and I read firsthand letters, oh, we had to go back, backtrack here because natives stole 10 oxen and 5 blah blah blah, and they've got all this. And they did have wars a little, but the natives were way more capable and like better fighters, than Mormons. The Mormons had to retreat until they could finally make an agreement because they were no match. So I'm just saying, I don't think the natives were bad. They're for protecting their land, but I don't necessarily think that there just wasn't that much manpower at that time to move, thousands of people against their will. So that's why I wonder if there was an incentive from the chiefs. And I think that's stuff that we can find out because we can see who received the compensation on that deal. And if it was one of their chiefs, then can't help but wonder,
Yeah, let
did he have a
me
part
go
in
ahead
selling
and
out
stop you,
people?
right? Because now what she's articulating and what she tried to articulate in regards to Africa was that the people sold their own people out.
Well, they sold their enemies, but I mean,
Right.
from their neighboring
Except
land.
for you're saying that the chiefs sold their own people out, right? You literally just said that,
No,
right?
I said we can find out.
Yeah, you're speculating, right? So what you're doing is you're sullying the name of those chiefs, right? When it literally said that these people were forced to do a thing, but you blame the chiefs and you're trying to exonerate the people who actually did it to them. I just want people to hear it.
I think it's very common for dictator level powers to exploit the people for their own gain. Look what the politicians here
Yeah,
do
no,
to us.
100%. Like the Lenape people, right? Who they have a bunch of different tribes. Everybody's working together. The Europeans come, things stop working. But for some reason, you guys always paint this picture like they're all warring and they're all savages, and the chiefs, no. The chiefs took care of their people, right? But you're saying the chiefs did something to benefit themselves, like remove themselves from their own homeland. That makes zero sense.
They might have been able to go back. I mean, not long. Yeah, if they got a significant amount of money or fortune, some kind of a benefit, it's possible. Somebody got written out a check for that.
Is it also? Let me ask you, because
They're
you
in the
said
Oval Office. They're public knowledge.
yeah, you said possible, right? Is it
No,
possible? Is
they're
it possible
public.
that Andrew Jackson got that bill signed, right? In
It's
his
possible that he
government
wanted the
system,
chiefs.
and
to
did
force
and did
people,
and
and
did
they
them
feel
dirty,
that.
right? It's
Yeah,
so it's also
of course.
possible that the white man did them dirty, right? That's possible.
Yeah, I think he manipulated. He offered
Yeah.
offer
Do
they
you
couldn't
think it's
refuse.
more
If that's the
probable?
case, you know,
Do you think it's more
I just
probable?
know that they're very like
Do you think it's more
strong
probable?
fighters. Mm,
Do you think it's more well, guns matter, right? Do
I
you
think
think
it's a
it's more
mixture.
probable that the white man just bamboozled them?
I think that they would have a difficult time having a chance against that many skilled fighters in their own territory.
With
So I think
bullets?
there had to be a middleman of some sort that had something to gain, I would guess. I mean, that's just
With bullets?
how I foresee situations like that taking place. I could be
With
wrong.
bullets?
I'm giving the white people less credit. I don't think they had the ability. No, they were selling the firearms to the natives since like 1600s. A lot of them had them, but not when you got more west.
If I sell you a gun and I got beef with you, you think I'm gonna sell you my best gun? If I can
No,
sell
no,
you a gun,
of course not.
if I can sell you, if I'm an arms dealer, if I'm able to sell you gun, how many guns I got?
No, I totally understand. Like the U.S., we don't sell our best equipment. You want to have the top, like
Yeah,
obviously,
I mean,
that's leverage. But I'm just saying, if they hadn't had some type of authority that they, basically like submitted to, there would have been continuous anger and warring. I think there was somehow, and yes, it was probably because they were so devoted to their tribe and their chief. And again, I just think there has to be, like, I can't think of one situation where there weren't kind of initiators and middlemen and somebody that got, and they follow the money and
Right.
see
And
what
just
the
we're just
motivation
thinking
is.
about this. You're just
Well,
thinking
could
about
we look it up?
right?
Maybe him, if I find the, I mean, all
Yeah, we can look it up and you
archives.
find it.
I'll
According
look
to the
for it.
most
I mean, I
recent,
don't know the tribe name again, but I'll look.
yeah, 100%. According to the most recent census, around 2.9% of Americans identify as Native American.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're the
That's
most
why it's
killed
just
by the police.
all this friendship shit is ridiculous, to be frank, right?
Well,
2.9%, right? How much killing y'all was gonna do?
but the thing is, I mean, my ex-husband, he grew up in New Mexico. His best friends were natives. He lived right with his best friend now in Utah is a Navajo. We were married. Him and his wife
Yeah,
hang out.
no, we've heard
I
that
know all
before.
of his family. Nobody's angry. Like,
Yeah, Blue Jay, no, we heard that before. I got a friend
oh,
who's
I know
black.
them. Like,
Yeah, we
they're
heard
like
that.
family. I spend holidays with them.
Yeah, that means nothing. Though hand in hand, the wicked will not go unpunished.
I'm just saying, not every tribe is the same or have the same experience or the same perspective. That's
Yeah,
grouping like natives into one big thing.
inconsequential, right? What you saying has no bearing, right? So you're saying, oh, I got a friend that's black.
No, I'm saying from what you haven't been out here in the West, like it was different than
Yeah, I
where
went to
you're from.
Idaho. I saw it.
Okay, and I believe you, but I'm just off. I'm seeing it. Why would I make that up? Like if I wanted to be mad, I could be mad because my ancestors, like, she was 8 months pregnant. They took turns jumping on her stomach until she was almost dead in the baby, and then they scalped her
Yeah,
in front of her husband. I could be mad. I
we don't
know that.
care.
I know that exact lineage too,
We
and
don't
that's
care.
a big story. They have a monument and everything.
We
I
don't care.
am not
And,
mad.
and the thing about it is, right, this was an edification on what happened to these people in their tribes, right? You offered information that didn't have anything to do with it to try to justify the actions that we know happened to those specific people. I wasn't even talking about tribes in Utah at all, right? Because if I would have researched those tribes, there could be places where people got along, right? However, I was
Right.
highlighting the stories that happened to the majority of the Native Americans, and then you came with a justification
No, you were
unnecessarily.
saying that the entire
And,
U.S.
and
population
then
is 2%.
and
That includes Utah.
it is 2.9%,
So that includes
right?
Utah.
Because they were destroyed by the Europeans. That's what overwhelmingly happened.
Okay, well, I just feel like you don't know that. Like, why would you make such a broad statement?
So let me ask you a question. When it says they forced them to relocate, you don't
Oh,
know. What
those
you did,
4,000, you mean?
you alleged, no, 4,000 died, right? You
Okay.
alleged that the chief sold them out. That's
That's
scum.
possible.
That's scum, right?
I said we need to see who got
You
paid.
know, so here's the thing. You know what Andrew Jackson did, but then you're speculating and throwing salt on the Chiefs themselves, right? Why don't you just say what Andrew Jackson did was wrong?
And I did. I said he probably manipulated the Chiefs and like bribed them. I did say that was wrong. I said
You blame
he
the
didn't care about
Chiefs, right?
people. But you think Native Americans are above sin?
No, so I just want y'all to understand. She
You know this.
blamed the Chiefs. I just want to make sure the people hear it, right? Regardless of what you're saying, it's inconsequential, right? You're not really making an impact. But I just want to make sure that you hear what the devil does, right? Because devil just means deceiver. So we literally have the history that she want to look up that says what Andrew Jackson did.
What's that? I was gonna go get it.
Yeah. So like
the whole thing.
yes. So what it literally has what Andrew Jackson did, right? Right. They're even trying to take his face off the $20 bill. But somehow she blaming the Chiefs.
So
right.
I couldn't erase this drink. So
it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I made all this up. These are all like first-hand story and a tree. Look at these things. These are all passed down. No, I didn't make this shit up. That's one side of the family, that's the other. There's so many stories.
We don't know.
The ones that I've read, why the fuck would I make shit up? I'm not that lame and bored. God, this is real shit.
Well, you made something about the Chiefs, so
I said it's possible that they were greedy. We're human. Every human is capable of being greedy. I didn't say they did it. I said we can actually find out instead of arguing because we can find that land deed or like along those ways and see who the check was written out to. Why not at least eliminate that? I'm not gonna just assume people are, guilty because they have it innate them. I don't believe that. I believe every human is capable.
Yeah, you guys are innately profane, right? And you can see that in the earth.
I don't. No, I'm not. No, absolutely not. My father is the kindest man. Like
I thought you said that your grandfather.
My son will be 18 in June.
I thought your grandfather.
My son is profane.
I thought your grandfather was a racist.
Whose?
Yours.
No, my grandfathers were. None of them were. Even the Mormons were abolitionists. That's why they left it. My family had a 900-acre because they fought in the American Revolution War, and they had close kin ties. They were like family. But anyway, and they had freedom in 1840 or something. They came to Utah. Like no, I would not make that up. And so no,
100%. But this is why
their way.
I very rarely let them in, right? Because instantly they're justifying things that happen that hurt these people overwhelmingly, right? She can't say the white man, at the very least, in the instance of the people who were marched, did wrong, right?
I barely heard the front story. I'm waiting to hear the rest of it. I never said. Right?
And so what happened was she saw the topic, came in here, just started windmilling, right? I was showing the videos, Googling the stuff up to bring it up, right? But you didn't even take time to understand because you didn't care what I was talking about. You had your own agenda, right? You could care less what I was showing the people. You just saw something that you thought you didn't like because of what you thought was happening. And so you just brought nonsense, to be frank. And it was very disrespectful.
The Native Americans, actually.
Hush, Blue Jay, this is what you're going to do. Okay. Hush for a second until I finish my sentence, then you can respond.
All right.
Right? So, but you didn't even take the time, right? You didn't care what I had to say. You didn't care what I was showing them. You don't care about the Osage. You just care about the two tribes you think you know about in Utah. That's disrespectful. And here's what didn't happen. I didn't even take away from your experience. I was being very specific about the tribes that I was talking about. But you instantly try to deface those tribes. You try to say what was being said was incorrect. And now we need more information because you want to try to exonerate the people who did it. While the entire country is considering taking his face off the $20 bill.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not trying to protect anybody. I'm trying to be rational And I do feel like it is somewhat disrespectful in return if I'm showing you first-hand accounts of my genealogy, and I didn't hear anything like, "Wow, that's sad," when the woman who didn't even speak English came from Denmark to be a Mormon, like left her
I
home and
I
marched
don't.
across the country and got
Well,
stomped
yeah,
on by
I
the
don't
natives.
care.
You
I
guys
don't
say that's
care.
sad?
I don't think I don't care. But
Exactly.
yeah, I don't care at all. But what I'm saying is this: we didn't even get to your stories. We were still talking about the ones that I was talking about. You introduced that when nobody asked you. So now what would happen is you acknowledge the 3 stories that I went through, and you say, "Hey, Hamp, take a look at this right here. Let's walk through this tribe, this story, these people's experience." In which case, we could assess it. But you didn't even take the time. You just automatically introduced that as though that's the norm. See, those are outliers. Outliers actually prove the point. They prove what's actually happened to the majority of these people. There's no way you run through an entire land and now you're only 2.9% of the population. That's foolishness. Stop it. That's disrespectful. You actually owe an apology, to be frank.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have to say sorry. I'm just saying that you owe an apology. All I'm asking is that when you come in the room, read it first, understand what's happening, and then once we get to an open forum, you can introduce new information that we may be able to appreciate. Except for we didn't even get to that point because you chose to ignore what I was talking about.
Okay, kind of just make one comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in my opinion, I guess the way I look at the natives and how much, just knowledge of the land and the way that they were so able to use resources so efficiently, so respectfully, and they did have warring with each other, but there was some understanding. So I feel like to just paint a picture of them just being like complete weaklings and just rolling over, like I know the accounts that I've seen, they were fighters and they didn't just give up. And so in my mind, I just think that's almost worse to not credit them for that, because there was death and violence and it was sad and horrible. And I don't.
You would say they were weak. Nobody said they were weak, but they lost, right? They wouldn't be 2.9% of the population if they wasn't fighting, right? So that's actually not what's said at all, right?
I don't know why they're so small, but I think it's because they weren't that many here.
Think about this, right? You said they were weak by saying that
they were not.
Well, you said the chiefs sold them out. If that ain't weak, I don't know what is.
That'd be like us trying to stop buying for sentiment of Ukraine. Like, we can't do anything about that. We don't have authority.
I don't care. I don't even know what that doesn't pertain.
It means that, like,
what I'm saying is, you said they were weak. You said their chiefs were weak enough to bribe and have their people march 4 states away.
That I don't know, but money can make people do.
I know. I'm just simply showing you that you said they were weak. Nobody else said that.
No, I said it's a possibility they are scandalous and like treasonous.
Let me ask you a question. If I sell my family out for money, am I a weak man?
Yeah, but you're a greedy man. I mean, you could still be a strong fighter and like a
if I sell my family out for money, am I a weak man?
Weak-minded, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
You've never heard a pastor or priest be weak-minded. We are all fallen. None of us are above reproach. We can all sin.
Yeah, different argument. Different argument. Yeah,
well, I don't have any. I actually love Native tribes. Like, I mean, I'm so glad my kids have Cherokee blood.
No, 100%. Just don't tell us that they sold out their tribes, right? Because you don't.
You're
love
positive
them.
they didn't. No, but you're positive not one of them could have been corrupt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But when I found that out and I really respect that you were asking me questions and you were like, everybody was being so. I'm so used to that. I don't care. I don't read a bit.
Yeah, no.
It seems to be a lie. So that's why I share the stories with you, because I did say, however, we got this information in my family. The thing that I think that I can do out of all this is help offer sources and stories, then people can track records. And find theirs as well if that's what they're
Mhm.
interested in. That's what I vowed
Yeah.
to do when I got the information, and that's all I'm still doing is
Yeah, I
saying,
think
"See, I didn't write these. I don't care
yeah.
if they
The
are,
point
you know."
the point for your edification, Blue Jay, is this. If we're talking about the thing, come in and talk about the thing. Don't take away from what's being talked about, right? In these last days, we got scoffers, right? So that's what people often do. They come away to take away from the overarching message.
Well, I did apologize for that. I explained to you. I just
No,
got
no, no, no. I'm just recapping the thing that it would behoove us all to do, right? Like, so for instance, I got invited to a stream, right, Blue Jay? And they were talking about something that they all agreed with already. But I vehemently agreed with it, and I proved it based on the text that we were using. So I politely declined because I'm like, I'm gonna come and take away from your build because I instantly don't agree, and I can prove it with the text that you guys are using. So as opposed to me coming and just arguing the thing that we already went back and forth about, if that's what you guys are building on, go ahead and build on it. Have the build, and then if you want strict and fierce opposition, you can do that next. But I'm not gonna just go there just to destroy the build. So I think that that's the key.
Okay,
right?
that makes sense. Yeah, I guess when I see, like, I'm kind of an optimistic person, and I also, our faiths differ as far as what we're accountable for, what we're instructed to do before or after this life. So I mean, I get those are like fundamental principles that can never align. But I think we find a good jumping point off of that where we can kind of, and all I really want to do with people who are what faith, or background at all is if we can seek for like actual tangible evidence so that we don't have a preferred outcome per se. And of course, we're not going to know until the Savior comes, like the end. But if we can try to stop them from, manipulating us with like fake history and stuff, like, that's personally my goal. I like finding out real shit, and if it makes my ancestors look bad, then so be it. And
Yeah,
I'd rather just know.
I think you had an opportunity to learn today about some real shit, but you came with an agenda that was unnecessary. So I think that's the key part. And I understand that you see streams and think it's going to be out about one thing all the time, but I chose a couple different tribes just because people don't know, they don't always look at them, right? And I think the Lenape is definitely a tribe that was so vast in its understanding, like how they used to trade and the systems they used to use, right? And oftentimes these people are painted as savage when the truth was they were very sophisticated, right? And maintained tradition orally. But because we were great orators, a lot of our things got lost if it wasn't in a book, especially when we assimilated to different cultures, And so that's why I wanted to use them for a different type of example and highlight Wall Street, use the Osage for just something as visceral as how they were treated. And then obviously the Relocation Act, because people often don't know that that's the verbiage. They often just hear Trail of Tears, and thinking it was like specific tribe. It was a few different tribes, but also that act affected the entire country. So imagine how the other tribes were treated, but we also just hear about the few. So that was the goal. So when we're looking at Thanksgiving, so-called, we got to look at it a little bit differently because the origin story is inaccurate overwhelmingly, with the exception of a few outliers. Like, where are you from?
Well, like for instance, for like my family that came to Utah, they kind of had to leave because it was legal and encouraged to kill, Mormons in Illinois and Missouri. So they had no choice. Like they had to leave. So, I mean, they kind of encountered they're not with the intent of, taking over or killing. It was just kind of like you run into it. And I mean, I guess they didn't say savage anywhere in the documents or the writings from my ancestors, but they just call them Indians.
Yeah, no, but in your documents, you said that the Mormons had to defend themselves, right?
Well, because they were pulling wagons across with their kids and pregnant wives.
You see how it works though. In your documents, the Mormons were upright and they had to defend themselves going through somebody else's land. If you walk in my house, you're gonna have to defend yourself. But it don't make you right.
They made a law in Missouri that they encouraged citizens to kill men, women, and children. Because Joseph Smith was starting to take over, and he wanted to run for president.
And this is what I want y'all to understand.
Abolitionists, and they had slaves.
It's only 200 people here, right? I want y'all to understand, right? In her origin story, the Mormons are the heroes.
No, they're not.
They had to
I'm not
defend
even
them.
Mormon. Please don't put words in my mouth.
Well, I'm just going off what you said. They had to defend themselves.
No, they had to flee. They were basically banished. They had to go. They were otherwise.
No, I just want y'all to listen, right? And that's
they were banished because they were abolitionists. And so in a way, they were kind of like better people at the time, But they had to leave, or else they'd have to watch their wives.
I'm just listening well.
And kids be slaughtered, their houses burned down. What else did they do?
I'm just listening well, right? They were heroic, but then somehow
what is good enough for you for a white person to do, Hamp? I mean, honestly, nothing.
Nothing. I didn't even ask you to come.
Well, I know, and I come.
I was just talking about. I was just talking about the Native Americans, right? I haven't asked a single thing, right? I don't have a goal for you. I'm just saying.
You did ask me to come up. That's a question.
Well, if I said edification because you were in the chat windmilling, right?
Right.
But I was because you
be made a fool of, or did
well, what it was you were totally off topic.
I've apologized for that like 3 times. I don't know what else to do.
Right. And this comment is actually great, right? Because it solidifies the point. Isn't she Mormon?
I'm not Mormon.
That would make sense.
My ancestors.
Yes. But you see, but her sentiment is those are your people. Of course you justify their actions, right? Of course they're the hero.
No, I said what else could they do? They were innocent. They should have been protected by freedom of religion, yes, but they weren't.
No, we understand it.
So you expect them to just sit there and let the citizens and the police kill them, burn their houses out? I mean, hello.
Yeah, you can see that now. Now you can see that one clearly. I get it. I mean, I don't need to keep saying it, right? You're doing it yourself.
They didn't kill the natives. The Mormons didn't. There were a couple like actual wars where they were like, had kind of been coming on each other like for days, and they kind of had to just fight it out and make a treaty. But it wasn't bloodbath here. I mean, I guess I'm just kind of confused how like everything I say, you're thinking I'm now look, everyone, everybody knows what she's doing. I mean,
oh no, because it's about edification for the people, right? It's much less about me. It's about taking what you're saying, and I want everybody to catch it at the same time I'm catching it, so they can understand the agenda.
If they want to dislike me because I'm reading my
I don't think they care enough.
That's fine. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah,
so.
they don't care enough to dislike you. I just want them to see that
Well, I don't dislike anybody for.
Yeah, they don't. I don't dislike you.
And I don't believe people when they say they know their exact genealogy either. It's impossible. So I try to be respectful of it, and I think it's ridiculous. Nobody knows. You can't possibly know that.
I think it's solid. I think it's solid. I just want you to make sure, like, when you come in, right, just understand what's happening, right? Because a lot of what you introduce is unnecessary. But generally speaking, you be chilling.
So, what I know there was like obviously something that like you found to be very disrespectful, and like initially, is it when I said they were warriors or?
No, I already said it. I think it for all its purpose is good.
Okay.
I think everybody understands now, right? I've already articulated once.
Okay. Well, I just don't think any group of people is all good or all bad. So for me, I just try to look at like almost like a detective way, like what's the motive, who stands to gain, how is the logistic process, like who actually forced this or that, and I just try to be objective, I guess, and I don't have a desired outcome. I know that
that's not true.
White people have done a lot of horrible things. I would never defend that.
That's not true.
I mean, I have no reason to. It's not my burden. That's not my responsibility. Like they have to answer to God for that, not me.
You'd be surprised.
Well, that's your view. And like I said, we have different fundamental principles, but I think the fact that we both believe the Bible and just maybe have different perspective of what it means, it's still closer than, you know, most.
No.
Well, if I end up being, thrown in the depths of hell, then I guess I am, because there's nothing I can do about it. So I just do what the Bible says, and I have a relationship with God, and I don't know why they would, but that's personal. That's not something I need, anybody else convinced of or would try. Like, I don't push my views on people, but I certainly don't have a view.
I don't
of
need to comment on it, but
anybody.
you're not right there either. But I think that's a totally different subject too.
Yeah. Why does Healy keep laughing?
I'm letting y'all have the conversation. I'll comment after y'all done.
I'm good. Yeah. I mean,
Jerice came to get you, Blue Jay.
I know we only can live on this earthly journey. We'll have to part our salvation journeys after I go to hell.
Yeah. But no, I think everybody got the point, and I appreciate you saying I apologize for the part in which you understood. So
I do, and I sincerely mean that.
Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. This happens,
I gotta see why he's grinning.
Who?
Tea leaves.
He just happy.
I might drink. Talking too much, my mouth's running.
Damn, I'm tired. What time is it? It's 3:00 for you, right?
I forgot to turn my camera off. I gotta get up.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. Yeah.
All right. Man, let me read these real quick.
Yep.
John Henry with the 100 ball. There is no different perspective to observable reality, quote unquote. Native Americans are severely underrepresented and banished to the outskirts of contemporary news. Blue Jays' dismissive anecdotal representation feeds into the problem of Indian issues being discarded.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's
I'm just reading someone else's account. I feel like if we all share what the closest to the truth that we each have, then you'd be surprised how well it lines up with both DNA from going back to like Denmark.
No, Blue Jay.
And the records trace perfectly. It all kind of is accurate.
Perfect. Miss Valerie was popping. Hey, so Miss Valerie, they got a baby coming. It's a girl, and
lucky.
I talked her into naming the baby after me. So that was great.
Yeah, right. What'd you say your middle name was again?
Roosevelt.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a true patriot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Aaron with the $2 says, you can Google how Andrew Jackson threatened them. Yeah. Aaron with the $2 says, he was calling in the military. What she chatting? Aaron with the $5 says, we ain't even talk about what they did to the Mexican and Native Americans in the war and how they were the same people, chose different sides. John Henry with the $10 says, Blue Jay is an example of how misinformation and disinformation takes hold through the use of words, probably, possibly, and maybe, when nothing definitive can be provided. Night all. And with the $10 says, somebody get this witch out of here.
Duh.
See,
I don't want to be a witch, so I wouldn't feel safe,
Tina.
But it would be cool. Damn, Tina. That's bad. Roosevelt. Well, Rose. That's a cute name for a girl, just as is, I think.
I ain't gonna stay here. I ain't staying here all night. Yeah, that is a match.
I mean, I don't expect people to believe it. I probably wouldn't if it wasn't mine, direct feeling. I mean, but like, the 18-month-old that was left with the neighbors after her parents and the other neighbor girl were killed. She's one grandma more, and she's in a 5th generation picture, and I'm a newborn, so it's not that long ago. I mean, but again, I don't. I'm not like,
you just talking to people that know that tenfold, right? Have you heard of alligator bait? Like if we play that game, you're not gonna win it. right? When you want to talk about travesty and things that happen to people, you ignored a march of 4,000 people dying, right? Do you know how important their dogs were to them? There was an incident where they were crossing the river, right? The dogs couldn't make it on the platforms. Every single one of the dogs drowned and died, right? But you know, in certain specific tribes, the dog is like a sib, you know what I mean, like a child.
Like the wolf, kind of like almost like a husky.
But I'm just saying, right? When you talk about travesty, it's incomparable, you know. So I think just marinate on that. Go ahead and take your ass to sleep and get up and cook in the morning. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you having me up here, and I know my view can like be controversial. I don't mean it to be, but I'm going to believe my family story, and I don't expect anyone else to. But
Yeah.
to me, that one of the closest like links to actual people, and that's why I listen to.
All right. Bye, Blue Jay.
archives. But anyway,
All right. Be safe, man.
Thursday, third Thursday of the month. Happy football day, everybody.
Indeed.
Okay. See ya.
Hey, man,
Lord
shout out
have
to
mercy.
Blue Jay, man. Shout out to Blue Jay, man.
Shout out to Blue Jay.
I ain't gonna lie, she been rocking though for a long time though. I will say that.
That's a fact.
Hey, everybody, it's T fault. It's T fault. Blue Jay, right though, you know.
Nah, yeah. But you know, John Henry explained it, and that's why I was keeping quiet, because I wanted y'all to have a dialogue, right? Because it was important.
Yeah,
the biggest thing that
I
I think the biggest thing is the trap that, like, because I don't think she a bad person, right? Like, I don't think that she got a like evil spirit or nothing, just based on the conversation. But like John Henry said, the misinformation, the possibly, like, they can live in that world, and it's a trap. It's a trap, and that's why you was telling everybody, listen, like, here, because that's what they doing. That's what they saying.
Yeah, and I think, and when you say evil, right, or mean spirited, or whatever the case is, right, we're talking about travesties specifically. When you introduce something to try to negate those travesties, is evil.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Okay. Right. So if we were talking, like, for instance, you know, the largest lynching in American history was a bunch of Italians.
Oh, really?
Okay. So if I walk into a conversation and let's say it's of a bunch of Italians, and where I'm from, it's a bunch of them, you know, if they having a conversation about what they went through, I ain't about to start talking about slavery and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna let them have their moment, because that they was already over there talking about the shit. You feel me? So if I walk in that room, I ain't gotta start talking about what niggas went through.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the key. You know, that we want.
And she definitely tried to use either her anecdotal experience or what she knew to try to make a different argument. Like you told her, you try to get her to understand, like, you're taking away from the point, you're not adding to it. And then everything else said after that is really just, well, now you're trying to argue different points about bribery and all this other type of stuff, and it's just like, it's not helping you. You digging yourself more of a hole than you actually, you know. It's
That's all it is, right? You know. And when it's a form that I'm uninformed, like if I go play basketball, like, I do the shit that I can do. You know what I mean? Like, I play defense, I pass, I shoot. If I get open, I can get to the basket at times, right? But other than that, the niggas that play ball, I'm taking instructions from them. You know? I take instructions from them, you know? So I think
but you did good though. You know, of course, I mean, it's a part of your disposition. You have a cool calm, and you just talk through it. You didn't allow yourself to get frustrated and stuff like that. So
no. She because like you said, she's not malicious,
Okay, yeah, that's better.
But a thing can be a thing still, though.
Okay.
Right? You know, it can still be a thing. You know, and I think from what I can gather, is that I think this is one of her topics, like that she kind of goes on about. So it's not, I'm not like surprised, you know. So
got you.
If I can remember, I could be recalling incorrectly, you know. So, but yeah, it ain't that deep. Like it, you know. I think oftentimes with us, and I'm talking about Black people, people assume we get triggered quickly. You know, they think we get emotional, we ready to do X, Y, and Z. But it's unnecessary. It just convolutes your point. You know.
All right.
So
lower your tone, strengthen your argument. Types of like But nah, it was good though. It was good. I let y'all rock. Y'all did y'all thing. So good shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good, man. I done seen enough in my life, but this is the least of anything, you know.
Got you. How much longer you got on here? You about to get off?
Yeah, I'm about to get that on, you know.
I feel you.
You know. But yeah, I think that you know, when people keep grinding, even like obstacles, right? He's talking foolish in the chat, right? I think he's talking to himself for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Right? He's just making assertions. Now notice nobody's responding to him because they already know. Nigga, you trying the thing for no reason, right? Hey, look, I hit obstacles with a crazy honey bun one show. He was trying to run around my point.
Couldn't do it.
Salute the obstacles though.
Facts.
Yeah, now Blue Jay, like I was telling him, man, you've been here since we had like 40 people in the chat.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, man.
Yeah, Obstacle's sharp. He a sharp dude.
Yeah,
so,
I like him.
You know,
I fuck with
he's sharp as hell.
man.
Yeah, I follow him on I follow his channel. So yeah.
Big head ass nigga.
Yeah.
Hey T man, I love you, man. I'm proud of you. You know, you I'm telling you, you know, niggas think what they think. They meet you in person, especially the ladies. They'll have to make themselves not want to like you. They be saying shit like, he too tall.
Like,
you know,
we're not gonna talk about it, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't even want to say it, but now I appreciate the edification for sure, though. For sure.
No,
and I got a message typed up for you in Instagram. I just ain't sent it yet because I'm kind of stuck on how I want to phrase it. So I got a message to see. I'm gonna send you a message on IG.
Cool, send it to me, man.
I got you.
All right, T, be safe, man.
Hey, have a good night, man. Thank you for go.
No, I'll hit you on Instagram.
Okay, I got you, bro. Hey, have a good night. Blessings to everybody, and see y'all on the next one.
No doubt. Hey, man, I'm before I get out of here, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna play the Trinidad clip one more time if I can get it queued up correctly. Listen to what she says in this clip. And now, even in this clip, you know how Trinidad used to do God Bless the Dead. She kind of talking to herself, but it's a good message, you know. I don't think I said a word. Man, that sounds crazy. Fatty said. Oh, shit. You know, Anton, salute. Fatty was popping. Vic was goody. Hey, Vic, man, you send me too many damn videos, good brother. I can't watch all them shits, bro. Here for the T. Jeremiah, what's up? My auntie, salute. Glow, what's popping? I didn't even see you. Teresa, salute. Art in the house. Here for the T. Nightbot, Josh. Daily. Salute the Blue Jay for hitting the link. For the fallacies. You always say a lot of good and solid stuff. Obstacles, salute my G. Drabo was popping. Miss Valerie, once again, congrats. Waiting on the baby to come. My brother Jarice, Shirley in the building. Oh, what's up, Brittany? I think I see you earlier. Not sure. Nightbreaker, salute. Yeah, I think you're saying some solid shit. Lady D, I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Hope all is well. Salute to DC. Patriarch, salute. Yeah, man, because I missed the 8 o'clock. I was on the plane, so and I was supposed to drop a premiere, but I messed it up. So, I said let me hit the link. But I think everybody who was here, salute to everybody, man. Yeah, man. Andrew, salute, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. I'm gonna play this clip. Y'all please give it a watch. It's only a few minutes. And I'll see y'all on Friday. Most High willing, man. Most High willing.
Waited until I was 26. 36, my
This might be risky.
36, not 26. You're muted, by the way. Cannot hear you.
I said, why is everybody leaving? We having an adult conversation.
They were removed. They shall return, I'm sure.
Why were they removed? Oh, okay. Mr. Aaron, what part of Philly are you from? Curiosity killed the cat.
The main line, Montgomery County.
Oh, you Montgomery. Oh, that's why you so proper. Okay, I got you. Milnary baby. Hey,
oh,
but
yeah.
North Philly up in here. North Philly. Hey, North Philly up in here. Hey. But sorry, Mr. Ham. But no, I just wanted a man's opinion because I got. Can I say a-hole? Relationships is not perfect. Let's be clear on that. I've been with this man since 13. We did homework together. We met in a overnight high school. Overnight Bible school church. It was overnight. I was a tomboy. It was everybody liked him. I ain't like him. Overnight. What is it called? VBS? Yeah, VBS. Overnight. Oh God, vocational Bible school. I don't want to put all that in there, but you know what I mean. Germantown. You know what I'm saying. So we found out. Fast forward, got pregnant at 19, had the baby, not the baby, my baby. That's my baby. He's 19. Had him at 20. And we, life. It's just life. So, relationships, he had his thing, I had my thing, life. You got to experience life. That's what's up. Philly, stand up tonight. Water ice, pretzel, what up, Philly? So, what I'm saying is men, they want to explore, and I can't just put it on Philly. I'm not a man. Let's be clear on that. So he did what he did. I did what I did. But yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, because we were young adults. I'm in college. He didn't go to college. He was in tech school, Do you? Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Hello? Yeah, so it was hard because it was hard because we was both young. We got this youngin', and he trying to do, and 17th and Erie, that was our first apartment. No, I'm lying. It was on Washington Lane. We had a duplex. Then we moved to 17th and Erie. Mm-hmm. And now I was working. I didn't want my baby in I'm talking too much. I'm sorry, Mr. Ham. But we were young. That's what I'm saying. We were young. But he knocked it out the box. He knocked it out the box. He made sure, and I made sure, because, that's our only one. Of course, he wanted another one, and I kept, trying to tell him, we can't do this. 38. Now, well, it wasn't 38. He wanted it, I don't know what age it was. I want a daughter. I want a daughter. I'll be quiet on that.
You delivered an Einstein?
No, I had him at Chestnut Hill. They don't deliver babies no more, but I had him at Chestnut Hill. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my Booker Bear. That's my Booker Bear. That's Booker Bear. I'm Mama Bear. He Papa Bear. Thank one. But yeah, say, we had all these t-shirts. I just do this on because Mr. Ham don't like, I don't like it either. Thank you, Mr. Ham. I don't like it either. The chest showing and stuff, especially in front of married men. Yeah, you cover up. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry, Mr. Ham. Yeah.
That's all good. Like, share, subscribe, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.